friends, welcome to our channel Jay Aditya Math Tutorial. We are doing a series of 10th class mathematics. In that we have completed 12 out of 14 chapters and it is time for us to enter a new chapter, that is tangents and secants here. So before getting into the class, if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe, and if you like my class, please do like it and share with your friends. Okay, so without wasting any time, we'll go directly into tangents and secants chapter. Before that, you should understand the basic concepts of a circle. Why? Because this chapter is completely based on circles. Already you have learnt about circles in your 9th standard, and we will be talking about some of those basic concepts in this class, and later we will be going to the problems which are very important for examination purpose, and we will be discussing some interesting points also. Okay now, so let us enter into our class today. So what is the chapter we are discussing, Nana? That is tangents and secants. I told you this is completely based on circle. So first of all, let us understand what is a circle. So what is a circle, Nana? So if you observe a point, let us take the point as O. So there is a point O. The collection of points which are equidistant from the fixed point. Collection of points which are equidistant from the fixed points are known as circle. So if you observe this one, if you observe this, you have many points on the circle. This curved line, this is the curved line. On this you will be having many points, and whatever the point you have taken, let us take a point here such that it is A, and take some other point here B, take some other point here C, take some other point D. So you take any point on this curved line and measure the distance with O. That is the fixed point. So you can observe each and every point will be equidistant from the fixed point here. So what we can say about circle, Nana? So the collection of points which are equidistant from a fixed point, is nothing but a circle. So the fixed point is called what? Everybody knows that is nothing but the center of the circle. Clear? That is the center of the circle. And let us understand some more concepts which are important here. So see here, Nana, let me draw a circle. Okay, this is the circle, and the fixed point here is O, Nana. The fixed point here is O. Let us take a point on the circle A. And if you join a line, join the 2 points with a line. If you join the 2 points with a line, that is the fixed point and point on the circle. Okay, Nana. So the circle divides the plane into 3 areas. So one is interior part of the circle. So if you observe a circle, Nana, so let us take some points like this: A, B, C, D, and a point here, that is E, Nana. So if you observe, this circle is dividing the plane into 3 regions. One is interior of the circle, the second one is exterior of the circle, and the next one is on the circle. So see here, what can you say about point A? The point A means the point is inside the circle. Whatever the point B is also inside the circle. Point C on the circle, point D on the circle, and what about point E? That is exterior of the circle. So the distance between the fixed point or center of the circle and the point on the circle, is known as what, Nana? That is radius of the circle. That is nothing but radius of the circle. You know very well, 2 circles are equal or congruent when their radii are equal. Okay, so this is nothing but radius. And if the line is drawn like this, now let us take a point here B. I am joining BO, and up to here there is another point C. Okay, let us take the other point as C. Now you see this one. This is the point on the circle. C is also a point on the circle, and it is passing through center O. That is passing through the center O. And you observe one more line, that is, let us take this point as P and the other point as Q. These 2 points are on the circle only. Okay, I am joining the lines here also. Okay, right now. So you can say about the line as, so this is the line joining 2 points on the circle. The line which joins 2 points on the circle is known as chord. Okay, the line joining 2 points on the circle is known as chord. So here BC is also a chord. BC is also a chord here. And also, what is the special character here? It is passing through the center of the circle. It is passing through the center of the circle. So this is known as diameter. So the chord which passes through the center of the circle is nothing but diameter. So how many radii? The plural form of radius is radii. So how many radii can be drawn in for a circle? So let us take one more point here. Let us take this as S. So you can draw a line like this, and if you take a point here as Q, you can draw a line like this. So you can draw infinite radii. In the same way, you can also draw infinite diameters. You can also draw infinite diameters like this. You can draw like this, or you can draw in this manner. So you can draw infinite diameters. How many chords can be drawn? So let us see here how many chords can be drawn. Means, see here now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9? No, you can draw here also infinite lines. You can draw like this also. So these are also the chords. Clear? So these are the chords, and these are nothing but all the things, that is radii, radius, diameter and chord none. Okay. Let us go for the other case. So what happens when a chord is drawn? Let us observe that one. What happens when a chord is drawn? For example, AB is a chord now. AB is a chord. So this chord divides the circle with the center O. This chord divides the circle with the center O into two parts here. Okay. And you can also observe one more figure. So let us take a fixed point O, or let us take this point as C and this point as D. I am drawing two radii here. This is E nana. Okay, so see here, there is a difference between these two figures. Here AB is dividing the circle into two parts. Here two radii, CD is one radius and CE is the other radius. So here two radii are dividing the circle into two parts. So let us take this as first part and this as second part. Here also you can take this as first part and this as second part. Okay, so what do we call these parts? So you can also observe, this is the area. If the part which I am shading here is the area enclosed by a chord and the arc of the circle. The part of the circle is nothing but arc. So it is the part of the circle. So this is nothing but arc. So here it is the point A and it is the point B, and you have a chord like this. I have shaded the part, this one now. So this is the area enclosed by a chord and arc of the circle, or part of the circle, is known as segment. What do we call it, Nana? Segment. So chord divides a circle into two parts. Those two parts are known as segments here. Okay, and here you can see two arcs, Nana. If I place a point here, this will be C, and let us take this point as D. So here you can see two arcs. The one is ACB arc and the other one is ADB arc. Now ADB arc is this one and ACB arc is the one which is on the top. Okay, so if you can, just by looking, you can observe that ACB arc is smaller than ADB arc, right now. So this is the bigger part and this is the smaller part, or bigger arc and smaller arc. So you can observe here, the smaller arc is known as minor arc now. So what do we call this one? This is known as minor arc. This is minor arc. And ADB is the arc. ADB is the arc which is known as major arc. Now you see the definitions here. The area enclosed by the chord and minor arc. Chord and minor arc is known as minor segment. Minor segment. And area enclosed by the major arc and the chord. Major arc and the chord. This partner, this unshaded part is known as major segment. This is major segment. Here the arc is known as major arc, and the area enclosed by the major arc and the chord is known as major segment, and the area enclosed by the minor arc and the chord is known as minor segment. So the chord divides the circle into two parts known as segments here. And for example, if we take a chord like this, let us take P and Q, which is passing through the center. So this is also a chord and it is passing through the center, so we call it as diameter. Diameter also divides the circle into two parts. Both are segments, but both will be of same none. Why? Because this is the half part and this will be the half part. That's why we call this part as a semicircle. This part as semicircle, and the other part is also semicircle. So it makes two equal parts. Diameter makes two equal parts. And let us come to this figure now. So this is the region enclosed by two radii and arc of the circle now. It is enclosed by two radii and enclosed by part of the circle. Again you can see here DE is the minor arc, and so let us take one more point here. This is, so if you observe DFE is minor arc, and if you observe, if you take one more point as G, DGE is major arc now. So this is major and this is minor. And what do we call here also? Two radii are making the circle into two parts. Two radii are making the circle into two parts again. Here these parts are known as sectors. What do we call them? Sectors. We call them as sectors now. In the same way as if in the segment concept, here also you have minor sector and also major sector. So the area enclosed by two radii and minor arc, the area enclosed by two radii and minor arc is known as minor sector. This is minor sector. And the area enclosed by the two radii and major arc is known as major sector. Okay, so these are the important basic concepts you must know before getting into tangents and secants. Now let us try to understand about tangents and secants. Till now we have not at all discussed about what is tangent and what is secant here. Now it's the time for us to learn about tangents and secants now. Once again I am remembering you, if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe, and if you like my class, please do like it and share with your friends now. This concept is related to both 9th and 10th class students. In 9th class, if you have the super grip on the circle chapter, you can do this one easily. And here you also need Pythagoras theorem applications. You will be having majority part with the Pythagoras theorem here. So you need to learn Pythagoras theorem. Already we have discussed. Okay, so see that one. Right now let us discuss tangents and secants. So before understanding the concept of tangent and secant, so tangent and secants means those are nothing but lines related to circles. Tangent is a line, secant is also a line, and these are with some relation with the circle here. So let us understand what are the possibilities we have when we draw a circle and a straight line. So the first possibility is, so you can draw a circle and you can draw a line like this one. So what can you observe here? So the line is not at all touching or passing through the circle. So this is the first possibility to draw a circle and a straight line. Okay, let us go for the second possibility. So the second possibility is like this now. Second possibility is like this. So there is a circle and it is touching the line is touching the circle at some point. Let us take the point as A. Okay, so this is our second possibility. The first possibility is you can draw a line without touching a circle, and the second possibility is you can draw a line such that it touches the circle at only one point. And what is the third possibility? So the third possibility will be in this manner. Now you can guess it. So it can be like this. So the line can be like this. So this line is passing through the circle or cutting the circle at two different points here. Okay, the line is cutting the circle at two different points. Let us take the points as P and Q now. So these are the three possibilities to draw a circle and a line. So first of all you should understand this one. Okay, and from this only we will be understanding what is a tangent and what is a secant here. The thing is here you will not consider this part. Why? Because this is just a line and it is a circle. It has no relation with the circle. But here it has some relation. Why? Because it has one contact here, it has two contacts here. Okay, so that means these lines are in relation with the circle here. So we will be discussing about this one. So if you observe, let us take this line as M Nana. So M is the line which is touching the circle with the center O at point A. M is the line which is touching the circle at point A. So it's the circle's center is O Nana. Okay, the line which touches the circle is known as, which touches the circle at only one point is known as tangent. So that is called the tangent here. Okay, and the point A, this point is there, no? This point A is known as point of contact. Point of contact. These all the words are very important. That's why I am explaining you in this manner. Okay, point of contact means you should know, just by listening the word point of contact you should imagine the figure this one. That means, okay, what is point of contact? So the point of contact is the point where the tangent touches the circle. So the line which touches the circle at single point is known as tangent, and the point is known as point of contact. And you have the other one is secant. Obviously this will be a secant. The line which cuts the circle at two different points, the line which cuts the circle at two different points is known as secant here. What do we call this one, Anna? That is nothing but secant. Clear? So that is the tangent and this is the secant. And in this chapter you don't have much applications on secants, but there is a major role of tangent here. Okay, so you should focus more on tangent rather than secant. Okay now. So what is a secant here? The line which cuts the circle at two different points is known as secant. And what is tangent, Anna? The line which touches the circle at only one point. The line which touches the circle at only one point is known as tangent here. So here how the word tangent came, let us understand that one. That is very, very important. Why? Because it may come in your bits now. Okay, actually what do you mean by tangent? Tangent means, okay, just now we have learnt what is a tangent, but tangent is the word came from the word tanger, which is a Latin word now. So this is a Latin word here. And what is the meaning of tangent here? Tangere means, the meaning is to touch. Tangere means to touch. That's why the line which touches the circle is known as tangent. Okay now. So tangent is the word arrived from tanger. And from which language it is taken? It is taken from Latin language. And the word is introduced by a Danish mathematician. Who is he? Danish mathematician, and his name is Thomas Finnick. Thomas Finnick. Right now. So he introduced the word tangent here. Who is that mathematician? He is Thomas Finnick. So he is a Danish mathematician. From where the word tangent came from? Tangent came from tangere, and which is a Latin word. What is the meaning of tangere? That is to touch now. Okay, so these are the important points. You may get one question in bits now. So if you want to score 10 out of 10, you should read the textbook from starting to ending now. Okay, now let us understand how many tangents can be drawn to a circle. How many tangents can be drawn to a circle at a point? So for this you have to understand one activity in the textbook. So let us try to do it here. For example, if I take a point here, there I can draw one tangent. So the tangent will be in this manner. That is, let us take the point as A now. Let the point be A, and here you can draw a tangent. Clear? And at the same point, how many tangents can be drawn? At the same point, how many tangents can be drawn? So if you draw one more line like this now, if you draw one more line in this manner, obviously it is touching. So if you draw like this, it is touching in 2 points. If you just cross the line, it will touch the other point, that is B. Then this is not a tangent. Why? Because it is not following the conditions of a tangent. So it is cutting the circle in 2 points. So this becomes a secant but not tangent. So if you slant this side also, again it will be happening the same. So one point is A and the other point will be C now. So here also this line, let us take the lines as L, M and N. The line N also cutting the circle in 2 different points. So it is also a secant here. So at a point on the circle, you can draw only one tangent. You can draw only one tangent. Okay, Nana. For example, let me show you this one. So how the tangent will be means, see here, let us think this is a circle. Let us think this is a circle here. For this circle, this will be a tangent, Nana. For this circle, this will be a tangent. And if you slant like this, then it is cutting the circle in 2 different points here. It is cutting the circle in 2 different points. Again, if you draw like this, again it cuts the circle in 2 different points. So obviously you can draw only one tangent at any single point. For example, if you have a point here, you can draw only one tangent like this. Okay now, so whatever the point you take here, you can draw only one tangent. So how many tangents can be drawn to a circle at a given point? At a given point, you can draw only one tangent. But sometimes to confuse you, the question will be like this. See here, let me write the question, then you will be understanding. How many tangents can be drawn from a given point to a circle is one question, and how many tangents can be drawn just to a circle. How many tangents can be drawn to a circle is one question. How many tangents can be drawn from a given point on the circle means that is the different question. So for the second question, how many tangents can be drawn to a circle means in this point you can draw one tangent, here you can draw one tangent, here you can draw one tangent, and here you can draw one tangent. How many tangents can be drawn to a circle? So you on the circle you will be having infinite number of points, so you can draw infinite tangents. But the question is different here. From a given point, he is mentioning a point there. From the given point, how many tangents can be drawn? You can draw only one tangent. Be careful with this question. Many times it came in the examination. This is very, very important question now. Okay. So this is the case now. Right. So in this way, we are discussing about tangents, and we shall discuss some more concepts in the next class. And meanwhile, I hope you have understood the concepts very, very clearly. These are the basic concepts, but very, very important concepts. That's why every time if you observe our classes, definitely there will be 1 or 2 introduction concept classes which are very, very important. Some students will skip those and they will be directly jumping into the problems. That is not the way to prepare for mathematics. Mathematics is the subject, it is a skill subject. So you should understand and you should digest all the concepts, then only you can perform well in your mathematics subject. Okay, and I hope you have enjoyed the class, this one. If you like it, please do like it, and if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe, and even if you didn't subscribe to the channel, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon for the coming notification. Daily we are doing at least 2 to 3 classes. So see here now, we are also doing videos for competitive examinations who are preparing for competitive exams in Telugu. Okay, so please do watch the channel regularly and hit the bell icon for notifications. In the coming class, we will be discussing about some more properties related to tangents and secants, and then we will also solve some more problems which are very, very important, what I said earlier. So we will be solving the problems tomorrow or in the next class. Okay, thank you for now. Let us meet in our next class. Till then, bye.